Hello and welcome to another Wednesday live stream. Thank you for joining us. If this is your first time watching, our aim here is to help you improve your English. My name's Craig from the website mentioningles.com, where you can study English and learn English for free with our resources and courses. And also we have a podcast. Go to inglespodcast.com to listen every Sunday or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And with me this week, I'm delighted to welcome back. If you have seen Lynne before, you know who she is. You can't get enough of her. It's Lynne from putitlikethis.com.
Thanks, Craig. I'm laughing so much because when you put that music on at the beginning, by the time we start, I think when our pictures come out, we should be dancing or something.
I'm dancing behind the scenes. I'm dancing, getting up my energy, and I'm sure you are after a long day working. So yeah.
That's right. Okay, so for people, if you don't know me, I can see that Hemma's joined us already. Hi, Hemma. You're always one of the first. My name's Lynne, and I'm from putitlikethis.com, and I'm an online teacher exclusively, and I make tailor-made courses for people. So if you're interested in having a course that's specifically to try to help you achieve your objectives, your particular objectives in English, then I'll design a course for you, and then we follow that online. So if you want more information, go to my website at putitlikethis.com. Yeah.
And if you're watching the replay, thank you for spending time with us. This week, we're going to talk about life hacks. And you might know the word hack from computers and technology, where you find a way around something, where you're not going directly to the solution because maybe the solution isn't obvious. You're finding an effective way to do something that's maybe a little bit different from the normal. So we're going to give you some life hacks today to hopefully help you with different things in your life.
I'm glad you've explained that word to me, because when you suggested this class, I know the concept of what a life hack is, but it's not a word that I use very much. But the word I know is hacker from a computer, but a hacker is a different meaning, isn't it? Because a hacker is somebody who goes into a computer program and hijacks the computer program.
Well, sometimes, but there are black hat hackers and white hat hackers.
Oh my goodness, you're teaching me more. What's a black-white hat? A black hat and a white hat.
Hacker is obviously what you've just described, a person who has nefarious or negative reasons for hacking into your computer, maybe to steal money. The bad people, the people who try to get into your bank account or tell you you've won something in some African country and they're going to give you a lot of money. No, but a white hat hacker is somebody who does a similar thing with computers, but for good reasons. For example, a person might find a problem with a Microsoft program, and they might report it to Microsoft so that bad people don't get access to your computer. So they're really protecting, and they're doing a good thing. So yeah, it can be good, it can be bad.
I'm sorry, Craig, but there's something going wrong with my telephone, and something started. I've got to go and put my telephone away. Excuse me, because I can't stop.
No worries.
Just a moment. Sorry.
While you're
Somebody's
doing that,
hacking my telephone right now. You see? Just a second.
I think it's Erasmo from Brazil who's hacking your telephone from over there in the Amazon. Hello, Erasmo. Good to see you here. And hello, Heidi. That's okay. You haven't missed anything, Heidi, so don't apologize for being late. We were just explaining what a hacker is, and that today we're going to talk about some life hacks, which are little tricks and things you can do to make life a little easier and a little better. So let's begin with our first group of hacks, and we're going to start off in the kitchen.
In the kitchen, that's a nice place to be.
It's a nice place to start, especially at this time of night where I'm getting hungry, at least over here in Europe. It's nearly dinner time. So what's our first hack?
So our first hack is something that I hadn't known, but obviously you were the one who thought of this hack. And I'm going to try it because it says, you put a wooden spoon across the pan of boiling water. So I suppose if this is a spoon and this is the pan, you're going to put it like that, I suppose you mean. Yeah. You put it across a pan of boiling water, and it stops the water boiling over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it, but apparently it works. I don't know if anybody watching in the chat has tried this. If you have and you believe this works, please tell us. But it is all over the internet. Lots of people saying
Really?
this. I don't know scientifically why it works, but apparently if you put a wooden spoon across boiling water, it won't boil over. That phrasal verb,
That's
to boil over,
amazing.
means the water comes out of the side of the
Yeah.
pot or
To
pan.
boil over, yes, that's a phrasal verb there, to boil over.
To boil
But
over.
that is amazing to me. But maybe it's something to do with do you think it could be that the water, that the wooden spoon somehow absorbs the steam of the water?
I have no idea, but Erasmo says he's going to. Hema says she's going to. She's tried it, and it's true. She's seen it.
Really?
She has seen it done. So you've seen it done.
You've seen
Hema.
it done, and it's true.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Right. So I'm going to be very excited now.
Erasmo is going to try it as well. So please let us know how you get on. And next time I'm boiling an egg, I will put a spoon over the pan to stop it boiling over for sure.
Okay, right. Next hack then. Oh, Jaime Gonzalez. Hello, Jaime. Jaime says it works too.
Okay, we'll take your word for it, Jaime.
Yeah. But I want to know, there must be somebody who's a physicist or what do you have to be to know things like that?
A chef?
No, but there must be some
physical explanation.
Scientific. We need a scientist. There must be a scientific explanation why that works. I can't understand how that can work apart from turning the heat down. Yeah. So I want a scientist here to tell me why that works.
Well, the next one is a lot easier for me to understand. We don't need a scientist to tell us about this. It's putting pancake batter in a ketchup bottle, and you can pour the mixture easily into a pan. Now, I think I've got a picture I can show you here of this, although I apologize, it might be a bit small. So you take a ketchup or similar plastic bottle, you wash it, obviously, make sure there's no ketchup inside. And the batter is the mixture of what is it, Lynn? Is it eggs and milk to make pancakes?
Flour, eggs. It's flour, egg, and milk.
Flour, eggs, and milk, maybe a little salt. That's the batter. So when you mix it all together, you get a kind of a thick liquid, which is called the batter, when you make pancakes. So, sometimes maybe it's in a jug or a bowl, and you want to be very precise and careful how you put it in the frying pan. Well, just fill up an empty ketchup bottle, squeeze it, and there you have your pancake batter.
Well, I mean, it's a clever thing, one has to say. But as a practical mother in the kitchen, I would say that's too much washing up. I'm not going to do that. That's even more washing up than I make anyway.
Do you have a dishwasher, or do you wash up everything by hand?
Both. We have a dishwasher, but obviously pans and things like that, I wash up by hands. And you can't put a ketchup. I mean, if you use that ketchup thing, you've got to put that wouldn't really clean in a dishwasher, I don't think.
Yeah, true.
And then you've got to pour the batter into the bottle, and you're probably getting the batter everywhere anyway. So I just don't mind having a few drips on my kitchen bench. Now there's some vocabulary coming in here, right? So we have bench, which is the work surface that you work on in the kitchen. In American English, they call it a counter, don't they? Kitchen counter, they say in American English. And in British English, we say the bench, B-E-N-C-H. And of course, when you're mixing your batter and you're putting it in the pan, what happens? You get a drip here, a drip there, and a drip in the pan. But then you just wipe it up, personally. I would find that too much hassle. It looks maybe it's neater for perfectionists. I'm not a perfectionist there.
And Erasmo, going back to the wooden spoon across the boiling water.
Oh, he's got an answer, has he?
He got an answer. Hi, Jess. Jess has just joined us. According to Erasmo, it's because of the heat transfer. Maybe from the boiling water to the spoon.
The steam to the spoon.
Now, I know, and here is another hack that is not on our list, but I will tell you. If you have hot water or very, very hot liquid, you're making tea or coffee, and you're using a glass instead of a cup. If you put a spoon in the glass before you pour the water, the glass will not break, because sometimes the glass breaks because of the heat of the water.
If it's boiling water, yes. Yeah.
But as Erasmo says, the heat transfers to the spoon, so the spoon gets hot and the glass doesn't break. And that's one reason why I never make a cup of tea in a mug with the spoon inside, because you want the boiling water to be really boiling when it goes on the tea.
Yeah. Never make tea in a glass.
No.
No, we don't make tea in a glass. British people don't make tea in glasses, no.
And Siam says, put the ingredients in a bottle and shake it. Yeah, exactly. Good idea.
That's a possibility too.
Now, what's our next one? Boiling eggs.
Now this is a big topic about how to boil your eggs so that when you peel the eggs, remember the verb to peel, P-E-E-L, which is there. We peel an orange or we peel fruit when we take the skin away from the fruit. And we also have this phrase to peel an egg, which is when you take the shell off the hard-boiled egg. And this is frustrating, isn't it? When you try to peel eggs if you're really unlucky, the shell sticks really, really closely to the egg. And then it takes you hours to take all the little bits of shell off it, doesn't it? And then other eggs shell in 1 or 2 goes. So you have found this hack, which is boiling eggs with a teaspoon of baking powder. That's sodium bicarbonate, isn't it?
Yes.
And the shell will peel off more easily. Now, I didn't know that one, but I have another trick for that.
Well, I know you have a little thing.
Do you use this one? Do you use this one?
No, I don't. I haven't used that, but I read it on the internet and I think it's true. Now, you've got a little thing that makes a hole in the egg, haven't you? I have a little pincher, you see. Yeah. And I think I showed that we did that when we did a class on gadgets. And in Germany, they have this little apparatus, this little gadget, where it has a little pin and you sit the egg on the top and you push it down and it puts a tiny little hole through the shell. And when you boil eggs with that, then I find that they're really easy to peel. But another reason I think somebody said to me too is that what you have to do is that when the eggs go in the boiling waters, I've heard another hack for this. The other hack is that you should boil the eggs from cold water, put the eggs in the pan, and then boil the eggs for however many minutes, and then they come out and they're easy to peel. But I don't boil my eggs that way. I put my eggs which have been in the fridge, I put them in the pan of boiling water. So they're very, very cold and they're going straight into boiling
and they go very hot water.
Do they not crack?
Well, not because I've got the hole in them, you see. They don't crack. Okay. But I read somewhere that it's to do with the difference in temperature, which makes whether the egg sticks to the shell or not. I don't know. There's lots of things in boiling an egg. We have a saying in English where they say that if they think you can't cook, that you're useless, that you're not a very practical person. They say, he can't even boil an egg. And I always say, it's actually very difficult to boil an egg. That's not the easiest thing to do in cooking. Cooking eggs is really difficult. Frying eggs is really difficult.
And scrambling
to fry a good egg.
And
to
scrambling
scramble an
eggs.
egg is difficult.
And that's why the very famous British chef, Gordon Ramsay, when he interviews a chef for a top position, he makes them scramble an egg because it's very difficult to get it absolutely right. So that's his test
to get the right
of a
heat.
good chef.
Well, did you never see that movie, Craig? That movie about with Helen Mirren about she sets up this. Well, there's an Indian family who set up an Indian restaurant opposite Helen Mirren's restaurant, which is has a Michelin star. Have you seen that movie?
No, I don't think I have. No,
I can't remember what the name. I can't remember what the name of the movie is, but it's a really good movie. And there's a scene in there. She plays this really famous Michelin chef who's got the Michelin stars, and she becomes friends with the Indian family. And her test for her potential chefs is that she makes them make her an omelette, because apparently making an omelette is also very difficult.
Yep.
Yeah,
it is.
So
Hema says rotating the eggs in the hands until the entire shell is broken is a good way to take off the shell.
Is that a good way? Yep. Oh, okay, there you are.
Very good hack there, Hema. Thank you.
There you are. So obviously eggs, we should do a masterclass in eggs and egg cooking.
Go to work on an egg. Yeah. Now, speaking of food, which we are because we're in the kitchen, have you ever had a pizza, either a takeaway or got a pizza delivered, or maybe cooked a pizza yourself in the oven, and you haven't eaten all of the pizza? What do? Put it in the fridge. The next day, you think, oh, I've got 1 or 2 slices of pizza. I'll heat them up in the microwave and have them for lunch. But they're not the same. They're not as nice because the crust, the pastry of the pizza is soggy, which means it's not hard and crispy. It goes very soggy. So a life hack for pizza that you're reheating the next day, reheat in the microwave with a glass of water, and that will stop the crust, which is the pastry, the outside of the pizza, getting soft and chewy. Chewy, the adjective, if you chew, then you're using your teeth to break up the food. Chewing gum. So chewy is where it's like chewing gum. It's not very crusty. So,
and the other word that you used there was soggy. Soggy is SOGGY, and soggy means that it has a high water content, doesn't it? That it's wet. Now, I didn't know that hack. Please tell me, Craig, that you've tried this hack.
No, it's another one that I read.
Craig, you are an absolute cheat. Do you know, everybody here? This was his idea, this class. He said to me, let's do life hacks. And I'm racking my brains thinking, do I know all of these life hacks? And Craig presented a whole sheet of all these life hacks. And I thought, what a clever
internet
guy.
Research.
What a clever guy.
Well, no, to be fair, I'm not usually in the kitchen. The only time I'm in the kitchen is to eat from the fridge or wash up the dishes or clean up the kitchen. So I don't cook. I don't enjoy cooking in the kitchen. So I'm not very good with kitchen hacks. But if you do try this at home, let us know if it works.
I hope you're not telling your wife, oh, this pizza crust is a bit soggy. You should go on the internet and learn how to do it better.
There isn't usually any pizza left. Don't worry about that. Now,
so I caught you out here. This is not real. You had me thinking all weekend. I had my thinking cap on. That's an expression. We put our thinking caps on when we're thinking hard. And I'm thinking hard and I'm thinking, I don't know any more life hacks. And Craig said to me, I'm telling everybody our gossip now. Craig said to me, you think of some and put them in a different color on the document. So all weekend I'm tearing my hair out.
And
I'm thinking, The life hacks. What life hacks do I know? I must know life hacks. I'm a mum with 3 kids. I must know life hacks. And I think I only found about 5, and I put them in the document with a different color. And I said, I think we've got enough. And I felt really guilty because I thought I haven't contributed to this lesson as much as Craig, but Craig has got them all off the internet.
And I bet you were thinking when you first read the list, oh, Craig's been spending a lot of time in the kitchen lately. What's going on?
And I thought, wow, you're so practical.
Well, the next one is yours. So the next one is chopping herbs. What does that verb to chop mean?
Chop herbs. So to chop is when you use a knife and you cut things in very small pieces with this kind of action. Right? So it's not this action. This action is slicing, isn't it? Really? This is slicing when you use your knife this way. But when you use knife this way, lots of quick action and you go straight through something, that is chopping. So we often chop vegetables like carrots and onions and things. And sometimes in recipes, you have to chop maybe parsley. Do you know the herb parsley? Parsley is a herb that we eat a lot with fish. It's green. Sometimes you chop chives. I like chives. They have like a kind of onion flavor. They're also green, but like cylindrical, very long. Coriander is another one. And usually these herbs, they come in bunches, bunch. We have like a bunch of flowers as well. So they come in bunches and they're very long. And when you chop them, they're a bit difficult to chop because they kind of stick to the knife and it's hard to get them all very, very fine. And I saw this life hack from a very famous chef called Jamie Oliver. Do you know Jamie Oliver?
I do.
English chef from your part of the world. He's from London, isn't he?
He's from Essex. Yeah.
He's from Essex, yeah. So, and he did this on one of his programs, and it was ever so clever. He gets the bunch of herbs, and he rolls them up. So imagine you're rolling a cigar or something, yeah. So he has them down, and he tries to fold them over, roll them up, and he rolls them into a so he's got like it's more like a cigarette size, and he holds them down really tightly, and then he chops, and then it's so easy, and they're all chopped, and they're really, really small. So I have tried that, and it definitely works.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. It seems quite easy, but if you don't know it, then you don't do it.
It's not something you do. Like before I saw it, I would be spending ages trying to chop the herbs. Yeah.
That's a very good hack. And speaking of chopping things, because you mentioned chopping herbs and you also chop onions, and that makes you cry, especially if the onion's very strong. It does something to your eyes and you start crying. Tears run down your face. However, apparently, and I haven't tried this either, but if you chew
Craig.
If you chew,
I don't
chop onions. If you chew chewing gum, now we had the verb to chew a couple of minutes ago, chewing. So you put chewing gum in your mouth while you're peeling. And Lynne explained peeling before about peeling the egg. When you're peeling and cutting onions, then you won't cry. I also heard if you do it underwater, because then whatever is in the onion stays underwater, but then you have to dry the onion. So that seems a bit silly. But apparently, if you chew chewing gum, now, if you believe this, if you've tried this at home, please tell us in the chat that it is actually true. But this is what I read on several websites, and it looks to be a fact. Erasmo, what do you think? Do you think that's true?
I think everybody needs to tell. Come on, you need to, people, please tell us what you think about this thing. Now, with onions, I do know how to cut onions, and I don't chew chewing gum. On principle, I don't chew chewing gum because I don't like chewing gum. But the trick when you're cutting onions, not to cry, is to cut them in the correct way. And the onions have a top and a bottom. The bottom of the onion has lots of little roots on it, which is where it sits in the earth. And the top of the onion has been chopped because it's got the green shoots which come out of the top of the earth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when you get an onion, you never, ever, ever chop anywhere near the roots, because the thing that makes you cry is when you chop the roots. So what you do is you chop off the top of the onion first, and then you slice the onion vertically so that you have two halves. And as soon as you slice vertically, you put it face down on your chopping board, right? You take off the outer skin, right? And you try not to tear the roots when you're taking off the outer skin. So imagine you've taken off the outer skin, you chop the top of the onion off, you slice it down vertically, and you put the two halves on the chopping board. And then you make a series of vertical slices from the root to the end.
But you're still cutting across the onion.
Yes, but you do not. No, you're not cutting. You're cutting vertical slices, right, from the root, but you don't cut in the root. The root's still holding the onion, right? And you cut the vertical slices, you switch it around, and then you chop that way. And then all of that goes into tiny little bits. And then the end, you have the bit with the root, which you haven't chopped. And then you put that immediately away in the bin.
You throw it
away. If you leave it open, then you'll start crying.
And that you've done that.
I know this.
And
I'm
you
a
never
professional,
cry.
and I do not cry.
Okay. Well, Nancy, I hope you're paying attention. I hope you understood that, Nancy. Next time you chop an onion, try Lynne's method.
My way.
Yeah, try Lynne's method before mine, because I haven't actually tested mine. So try Lynne's way first. Right, let's move on to some household hacks. So we're going out of the kitchen now to various parts of the house. And there's one thing. Now, this I have tried.
Great.
And I just want to get my picture ready, because our first household hack is to tie a knot in one of your earphone cords to remember which is left and which is right. So these are my earphones, not to be confused, which many people do, with these, which
is your headset.
Headphones. So headphones are bigger and they cover your ear, and earphones are smaller and they tend to go in your ear. So you tie a knot, and this is a knot.
We can't see. You have to move more to the middle.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Way. That's it.
Yeah. This is a knot. I've tied a knot in one of my earphones. I've tied it in the right one. And then next time you put in your earphones, you always remember that this is the right side. Because even though I've got a very small R there, which is really difficult to see. So usually I'm looking, is that the R? Does that go in here? Because one's right and one's left.
But why is it important? Why do you have to have one earphone?
Because they're different shapes. Yeah.
I don't like earphones. I hate the feeling of earphones. That's why I always have a headset.
And this is the cord. The cord is another word for cable. So I have tried this the last few days. However, I forgot if I tied the knot in the right side or the left side. And I think, is that did I tie the right or the left? So for me, it hasn't worked.
I don't think it would work for me either, but you know why it wouldn't work for me?
Why?
Is that I'm one of those people. I don't know if any of our listeners, any of our students are like me, but I have a serious problem distinguishing between right and left.
Really?
Yes.
With your shoes, for example?
No, I mean, the thing is, I know which is my right and which is my left. But if somebody puts me on the spot, I don't know if you know that experience, to put somebody on the spot, which means to ask somebody spontaneously, show me your right hand. Then I freeze. And I have to do in my brain, I have to pretend that I'm writing. And then I know that I write with my right hand. So if you shouted at me now, Lynn, put your left hand up.
Put your left hand up.
In my brain, I'm going, right? So I have to figure out which hand I write with to know that that's my right hand. And then I go to my left, right? And I've had that problem my entire life. It was a disaster when I was learning to drive. When the
I was thinking of learning to drive because they say left hand down, right hand down on the wheel.
Oh God, no.
Right indicator, left
when
indicator.
People do that to me, my dad used to do that to me when I was trying to reverse. He would go right hand down, and I'd be going, it doesn't help. I don't know. I get really flustered and frustrated because it's no good. If you need to give me time, I cannot do it that fast. And I've had that block in my mind forever. So like, for example, when people are saying right here, turn right, turn left, I'm always a little bit delayed in knowing which is my right and which is my left. And I've never got better at it. It's a little problem that I have.
Do you have wedding ring? Do you have a wedding ring?
Yes, I do. And so, of course, that's another, that's another trick. But it's just that, obviously, I've had this problem all my life. So it used to happen to me when I was at school. And, of course, I wasn't married when I was at school. So I always remembered to write. I write with my right hand. But apparently, I think my daughters learned at school, there's this trick. This is also a life hack. And that if you put your hands like this, this one, right? Can you see that if you look at the shape that your finger and thumb is making, one of them is making an L, and that is left. Can you see?
Yeah, that's this one.
Right? That's this one. Apparently, that's what they learned at school.
Clever.
Also, not useful in a driving test when they say left hand down and you take your hands off the wheel and do that and say, just a minute.
That wouldn't
you put your hand back on the wheel. That doesn't work either.
Crash the car. Wouldn't work at all.
It doesn't help.
Okay, let's move on from earphones to clothes now. And this is a Marie Kondo. If you know who Marie Kondo is, she's the lovely Japanese lady who helps you to organize your house.
She's a guru, isn't she?
She's
house organization.
Guru of organization.
Who's an expert.
So I don't know if this is her idea, but I learned it from her. And that's if you keep your clothes in drawers and not on shelves, stack them vertically so that you can see them all. Now, to stack means to put one on top of another. If you stack books, you put many books on top of each other. So let me show you a picture and you can see what I mean, because a picture paints 1,000 words, doesn't it? So it's easier if I just show you what I mean. And this is clothes neatly arranged vertically, and then you can see. Now, I can't do this with my t-shirts because my t-shirts are on shelves, and I have some at the front and some at the back. But my socks and my pants, I do arrange like this, and I can see exactly what ones to wear.
Yeah. My daughter does that. I think she'd watched Marie Kondo videos. So one of my daughters started arranging her wardrobe like that. And it's very practical. And she's kind of, it's caught on in my household. So we're all doing it now. To catch on is when another phrasal verb. To catch on means that it's how would you describe it? The idea has caught on. It means popular. It's become popular. It has become infectious in our household. We're all doing that now.
Caught on.
So that idea is caught on in my household too, and it's very useful. And also, like those drawers in that picture are very big, and I have a similar chest of drawers. That piece of furniture is called a chest of drawers, and I have a similar big chest of drawers. And the other thing that I don't know whether Marie Kondo suggested this or not, but what I have actually bought recently is lots of little baskets. And then in the baskets, in the drawers, I keep the things separate because it's very easy in a big drawer to lose things. So I have socks in one basket and tights in another basket, and they're all in the baskets. But you're quite right. Vertical stacking like that is much better.
And we have a comment from Nancy who says that the same thing. This is before with writing. We were speaking about mixing up left and right, and she uses both hands to write.
Oh, that means you're ambidextrous. That's what we call it in English. Ambidextrous.
You write with both hands, yeah.
Yeah, great.
Okay. Excellent. Now, moving on. This one is, I think, very, very useful. Let me just remove this picture and put the next hack on the screen. Now, mobile phones, sometimes you're watching a video or you're watching something on YouTube and you're holding the phone. You can get tired, your arm aches or your hands ache. Well, if you take off your glasses, your sunglasses, because if you take these glasses off, you can't see the video, but if you take off your sunglasses, you can put your mobile phone here and watch. It holds the mobile phone and you can watch your mobile phone. Just put the glasses on the table and sunglasses and put your mobile phone on top.
Oh, I'll try that.
I have tried this hack and it does work. It's very good.
And it works. I will try that because one of my daughters lives away and we have little video calls. And we often get tired holding the phone because we talk for so long. So we're talking to her. It'd be quite nice to put it on something so that we don't have to hold it all the time. Okay, more hacks.
More hacks. A dustpan.
Now this is one of yours, Craig. So
yes.
Have you done this?
No, I haven't. And I'm really annoyed because I thought I had a picture, but I don't have a picture for this. But if you imagine, a dustpan is a thing you use when you sweep the floor and you sweep the dust and the rubbish from the floor, you sweep it into a dustpan, which is usually a plastic flat thing, but it has a handle with a groove, like a semicircle, like half a tube. So if you put that under the tap in your sink, you can fill up a bucket because sometimes you don't have enough room between the tap and the bottom of the sink to put the bucket in. Okay, so a bucket is a big container that holds water. The sink is where you wash your hands or wash the dishes in the kitchen or the bathroom, and the tap is where the water comes out of. In American English, it's a faucet. In British English, it's a tap. And if you try to fill up a big bucket, sometimes it doesn't go in the sink. There's no room between the sink and the tap. But if you put a dustpan there, the water goes in the dustpan, runs out of the handle into the bucket.
The handle?
Yeah.
You haven't got a picture of this?
I'll find a picture
Seems
of it.
to me very messy, that. I think I would make a bit of a flood in my kitchen if I tried that. Then I have some other questions about this hack, because I read this hack and I am a little bit skeptical, Craig.
Okay.
Because first of all, if you want something clean in your large container or your bucket, one assumes that usually you want clean water in the bucket or in the container. Why would you use a dirty dustpan to do that? Because your water is going to be dirty, isn't it?
Yeah, well, sometimes it doesn't really matter because you can have a dust. You don't need clean water. I have found a picture, so if you give me a second,
And then
show it to
secondly,
you.
here's the second problem with that hack, because, I'm just pulling your hack to pieces, aren't I?
Yeah.
So the second problem with that is it's more washing up, isn't it? Because you say to me,
No, it's not.
well,
Why
if
is
I
it?
want clean water, then I'm going to have to wash the dustpan first so that I can get clean water through the dustpan into my bucket. And
Look at
that's just
that.
too
Look
much
at that.
work.
Look, how easy is that to do? So, you should be keeping your dustpans relatively clean. They shouldn't be that dirty anyway. And if you want to mop the floor or clean the floor, then the water goes in the dustpan and into the bucket. Very easy.
And what's the problem with just getting a big jug or a cup or a bottle and filling it that
It
way?
takes longer. It's all saving time. Time is
I see.
precious.
I'm not convinced.
I haven't sold you, have I?
You haven't sold me on that one. That one seems far too complicated, and it'll probably make a mess for me.
If you have any
That one.
questions about this vocabulary, if
Mm.
something's not clear, because this is quite difficult to explain, actually,
Uh-huh.
then please ask questions in the chat, and we will do our best.
I actually have a handy dandier hack than that.
What's
Right?
a handy dandy hack?
A handy dandy hack. Well, when something is handy, it means it's very useful. And then we make this little sort of rhyme, handy dandy. If something is handy dandy, it means it's very handy. And I have a handy dandier thing than the dustpan to fill the bucket if the bucket doesn't fit. And that is, they actually sell now kitchen taps, mixer taps, a mixer tap where the hot and the cold water goes in the same tap. That's called a mixer tap. And they sell them now that they are like shower heads.
Yeah, but
So
that's
the shower
expensive.
head.
We
So
had one of
my
those
tap
and it
in the
broke.
kitchen did it. Oh, but
Yeah.
I've got one in the kitchen, and so whenever I have that, I just pull the shower head out and then I fill it, and that's the handy dandy. That's the Porsche of filling your bucket that doesn't fit in the sink.
Last week with Andrew, and I know there's some people watching in the chat who watched my live stream last week with Andrew. His chosen expression, one of them was la-di-da.
Oh, la-di-da.
The perfect way to use this expression with Lynn, who's got this fancy, expensive tap that you pull out as like a garden hose, and you can take it anywhere in the kitchen. Then
well, it doesn't come out that far. It doesn't come out that far. It comes out about that far. But
you can water your onions with it outside.
I can fill my kettle up without having to pick my kettle up. I just fill my kettle up like that, and I fill my pans up my pans. I put them on the bench, and then I can fill them up. It's very easy. It's very la-di-da, yeah.
I use a dust. No, I don't use a dustpan. But if you do have a very small sink and not much space, then that's a hack that you could use. Now, the next one is one of yours, isn't it, Lynn? Machine laundry bag. Tell us about that.
Well, I have to confess. I have to make a confession now, Craig.
You don't do this.
No. Because I was so lost for what can I put in this to contribute to this lesson. I did actually invent this one, I have to confess, but I'm being honest, I invented this one. Okay. It is a combination of a thing that I use anyway. Lately now, I have a problem in my house. There are 5 people in my house, right? And in winter, we have a sock problem, right? Because we each wear a pair of socks every day, right? So when it comes to washing, you can do the maths in that. Per person, 7 days, 2 socks every day. That's 14 socks per person. Wow. 14 times 5 is 70 socks, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
My husband goes running 3 times a week, so he has an extra 6, right?
Oof.
So we have 76 socks going in my washing machine every week.
It's a lot of socks.
And then, of course, as people know, in every household, there lives somewhere in the house the sock monster.
Yes.
Do you have the sock monster?
We have a sock monster. Yeah.
The sock monster is everywhere. Seems to, he is everywhere. And the sock monster eats socks. So, like you do your washing, you bring them out, and suddenly you discover that there's 3 socks missing. And where have they gone? And you look everywhere, but obviously the sock monster has eaten them and taken them somewhere, and you don't know. And then occasionally the sock monster, just to make you really annoyed, he brings the socks back at moments that you're not expecting. You take another load of washing out and suddenly the socks are there again. You don't know where they've been, right? So you know the problem, right? So we have a big problem with the sock monster. And what I do with socks now is that I use these machine laundry bags. Have you seen those? They're sort of like bags with a zipper on the top.
Yep.
And it's actually safer for your washing machine because sometimes socks get actually caught in the washing machine. So you put them in the bag, and then, of course, when you bring them out of the washing machine, the socks are all together in one bag. So then you can hang them out and dry them and pair them and everything like that. But I actually invented this hack because I thought what I'm going to do next, which I haven't done yet, but I am going to do it. One of the problems I have is that all my family put all their socks and all their dirty washing in our washing basket. And before I put the washing machine on, I have to sort through the washing basket, separate the socks, put the socks in the laundry bag, and then put it in the dishwasher. Not in the dishwasher.
In the dishwasher?
Washing machine. No, in the washing machine. In the washing machine.
Thank God for that.
So I put them in the washing machine. So then I thought, well, maybe a good idea would be to put the laundry bag already in the washing basket and force my family, when they put their socks in the washing basket, to put the socks deposit the socks in the correct. It's a bit like recycling. Do you have recycle bins for your rubbish? You know, you have a paper bin and a plastic bin. And I think I'm going to separate now my washing basket.
Good idea. And you can have white socks, for the socks, running socks, black socks, dark socks. Exactly. Yeah. Very good idea.
The sock monster won't be happy, but I will be happy.
Moving on, we don't have much time, so let's try and get through the rest quite quickly so that we can give you all of this information that I'm sure you're dying to hear. Moving on to some travel tips that will help you when you're traveling. Now, this one I do like very much, and sometimes you go on holiday, you forget your charger, to charge your mobile phone, or to charge your tablet, or to charge your watch if you have a chargeable watch, or any gadget, any electrical gadget that you take with you that needs to be charged, and you've left your charger at home. What do? Well, I've got two solutions for you if you're staying in a hotel. So your hotel's probably got a TV, and at the back of the TV, I'm sure you'll find something that looks like this, and that's a USB port that you can use to charge things. But you need, obviously, the cable. And if you don't have the cable, most hotels have a lost property room or department where things are lost in the hotel. They keep them there in case the owner goes back to the hotel or asks for their possessions that they've left in the room. And it's really, really common for people to forget their chargers. And most hotels have in reception a big box, and in that box there are lots of spare phone chargers and cables. So all you do is go down to the reception and say, "This is my phone. Do you have a compatible charger that I can borrow to charge my phone?"
So this has happened to you, I suppose.
It happened to me once at a conference, and they did have I needed a cable, not a charger. They did have a cable that they lent me, and it saved me. I was able to connect something to my laptop. Because people forget cables in the room. They go under the desk, they're in the drawer, they go behind the wardrobe, and they get left in the room. So there you go. Next
one. Oh, now I like this one.
Me too.
I'm going to speak a little bit more slowly now because Paloma said that it's very difficult today. I think it's because I'm getting too excited. But at least you're hearing native speakers talking to each other, Paloma. Okay, I'll try to speak a little bit more slowly. But in this one, this is a great tip and I use this a lot, and it's to try to have cold water. And a lot of people, when they're in the summer and they go out, they say, oh, I'm not going to take my bottle of water because the water gets really warm and then I want cold water. And the easiest tip ever in life, and this really works, is that you fill a water bottle a quarter full, or if you have a new water bottle and it's full already, just empty out a quarter of it, put it in the freezer, and then when you take it out, you can fill up with fresh water, but most of the other water is solid frozen. And you will find that during the day, it takes a long time for that block of ice to melt. And it actually makes you, I think you've put the wrong picture on
sorry.
there.
Yeah. My mistake.
It actually stays cold all the time. And I started using this trick years ago, and we love it. And what I've also done, an adaptation of this, is that I noticed that we used to have cool bags that we used to take on picnics with us to the beach. And you usually have these blocks, these proper freeze blocks that you keep in the freezer, and then you take them out and you put them in the cool bag, and it keeps the cool bag cold. But in actual fact, you don't need to carry that extra weight. If you freeze your water works as cool blocks to keep the rest of your food cold. So I've actually stopped using these freezing, those blue blocks that you put in there. I've stopped using them because I just use water all the time. And then you have your cool drinks and you have your cool food, which is great. Yeah.
And I have used this. I have used this hack, and I've completely forgot about it. I used to do this. I don't know why I stopped doing it, but it really works. And you have lovely cold water for most of the day. It's very, very, and it melts slowly. The ice melts very slowly.
It does melt very, very slowly. And I think it actually melts even slower than those cool blocks, to be frank with you. I really do think it lasts longer.
Me too. Okay, the next one, going back to clothes again, we said to stack your clothes vertically, but another hack from you, Lynn, I think, to roll clothes.
You roll the clothes up for your suitcase. You can get far more in the case. I'm a very good packer because I always travel very heavy. And if you want to take lots of things with you, instead of folding them and stacking them like that, the best thing is to roll them. And also the advantage of rolling your clothes is that when you get to the hotel, when you take them out of the case, they actually don't have creases in them. Creases are lines, from where you folded them. If you stack them all and press them in a case, then what you're actually doing is you're ironing in the creases. But if you roll it, then there are no creases. And I do this with everything, with my skirts, with my dresses, with T-shirts, and they come out in a much better condition than when you try to put them in your suitcase and you press everything down.
Yeah, and it saves a lot of space. I use this technique as well. It's very, very good for saving space. Good tip. When you buy a loaf of bread in the supermarket, especially when the bread is pre-sliced in a plastic bag, you get those little plastic ties that close the bag and keep the
little
air
clips,
out.
The plastic clips.
Yeah. Well, don't throw them away, because I've got two very good hacks that you can use those for. The first one, I have a picture to show you. So the first one here, if you're like me and you have lots of cables behind your computer, which I call spaghetti, looks like spaghetti, then you don't know what cable goes where and it's a mess, you can use those little plastic ties that you get in bread bags.
Those ones.
And they're fantastic for labeling your cables, and you know exactly which one is the printer, which one is the power, which one is the microphone, etc. So you can label your cables with these ties.
Oh, I'm going to do that. That's a really good tip. I'm going to do that because I have a similar spaghetti mess behind and I never know which cable is which.
And
great.
you're going to like this one as well, because for the same thing, those tires, you can use them for keeping the end of tape open. So you can just easily, you don't have to look where the end of the tape is. Now, this can work with sellotape or with painter's tape like this example here, and you just use the bread tab, keep it there, and you always know where the end of your tape
so you
is.
don't lose the end, because that's really annoying, isn't it, on the tapes when you can't find the end.
Yep.
Okay. So they're the tabs. I misunderstood that when I read it, because I thought you meant those. There's another way that bread bags are kept, and it's like a white, but it's a long tab, and you twist it. But
something like this.
Yeah, but you didn't mean those. You meant those other ones, and that's much better. Yeah, no, I'm going to use that one. That's a good tip. You have redeemed yourself, Craig, at the last hour. The last minute, you have redeemed yourself. So I think I shall forgive you, because finally your last tip was useful and it's one of yours.
Is that the last one, or do we have time for one more? What do you think?
Well, we have time for one more if you want. Go on.
Okay, you choose. Which one that's left would you like to go for?
Do my carabiner. I like my carabiner.
Your carabiner.
I've got them here, though. I brought it for me here. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you are. So get a carabiner. You see this little carabiner? It's a carabiner clip. It's like a clip like that. Yeah. Or I think you had a picture. The carabiner is that type of connection. It's used in mountaineering as well. I think you had a picture of a proper carabiner too, didn't you?
Yep, just looking for it now. Here it is. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. That's a carabiner. Okay. And here, this is my carabiner, and I've had this for years, and I always have it on my key ring. And it's handy dandy because, of course, many women with their handbags, we have lots of things in our handbags and we can never find what we want. But since I have my carabiner in my handbag, especially my keys, right? Then, of course, there's always a little hook in a handbag, yeah? Like it can be there, and then I can attach them there. And then I fold them over like that. Then when I zip my handbag closed, yeah, I always can access my keys immediately because they're here. You see?
Fantastic.
And you can put them on any bag, because on any handbag, there's always something where you can attach them to. And the other saving mechanism for my life is, if you notice on my keys, I'm a very efficient person. What else do I have on my keys? A little USB drive. And all of any important documents, if I ever go anywhere, I have them on my little USB, and my USB is on my keys, because my keys are the only things I never lose.
Because of your carabiner, because they're attached
of my
to your
carabiner.
bag.
So I always have my data and my keys, the most important things that you need. So there you are.
I like it very much. Okay, well, unfortunately, we have to end it there. That hour went very, very quickly. It flew by. So we hope you've got some useful tips from the kitchen and other parts of the house. And we will say goodbye. Of course, Lynne will be back in 2 weeks. Next week, I will be joined by Kevin, who you have met before if you're a regular viewer. Kevin from deliberateenglish.com from Chicago. And he will be here next week. But before we go, we'll just remind you where we're from. I'm Craig from mentioningles.com, where you can study English for free. And we have a podcast, inglespodcast.com, that's available on the website or anywhere you listen to your podcasts. And thank you very much for being with us, Lynne, today.
You're welcome. I'm sorry if I spoke a little bit too quickly for everybody, but at least it's listening practice. You can watch the video replay, and then you can maybe put me a little bit slower, or you might be able to catch up by watching once or twice. My website is putitlikethis.com, and I'm an online English teacher. So if anybody's interested in classes, then you can always go to my website and then get in touch with me. Okay.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again soon. And until next time, have a great week and a great weekend.
And I hope that some of the tips have been useful. I will try your tip about those. I like that bread tab cable labeling
I thought
system.
you would.
I like that. That appeals to my sense of organization.
And I'm going to try the one about the wooden spoon on the frying pan or the pot, and the one about chopping onions. So I'll be chopping onions next week.
I might have to do a masterclass where I show a video of that, but I'm sure that you can find masterclasses that do it better online. Okay, everybody. All right. So I hope you've had a nice time. Bye-bye.
See you soon.